Welcome into the First Word presented by Dr. Pepper here at the Star in Frisco. Lindsey Draper, Nate Newton, Brian Broaddus, Taylor Stern joins us in a moment to talk about the Cowboys who knocked off the Saints after a 10-game win streak. 13-10 your final. Not the points we expected, maybe not even the outcome that some fans expected, but here we are. And you see these faces right here. There were definitely some things that the Cowboys did that could have easily given the Saints the game at any point of the game, Brian.
Yeah, it is, it's unfortunate. I mean, the Cowboys defense, though, played great. Did exactly what they had to do. I kind of felt like going in, and I know Nate talked about it on his show, and we talked about it on the pregame show as well. If they were to be able to hold the Saints to under 30 points, they had a shot to win this football game. The game worked out perfectly for them in the first half. Second half got a little rocky. Saints made some adjustments, but well, I'll tell you what, though, some unfortunate penalties for the Cowboys, though, that kind of kept the Saints in that game. It's one of those times, again, where it could have been a lot worse. We've talked about some victories where, the Cowboys just could have put teams away, but I'll tell you what, it was a lucky. I was feeling terrible for Randy Gregory. They just can't have that happen. They want to punch safe like that.
Nate, you pick the Cowboys to win every week. You're usually super excited when they do, but are you a little bit brought down by some of those things at the end?
If you tell me that the Cowboys are going to have possessed the ball 36 minutes and 53 seconds, if you tell me that they're going to hold the Saints up under 10 points, 10 points or less, and you tell me that we're going to get a couple of picks and we're going to sack Drew Brees and we're going to hold Alvin Kamara in check, I would be like jumping for joy. But this was gut-wrenching. I mean, you made it too hard on yourself. And I know what Jason is saying. Hey, you work through adversity. But, fellas, if you want to continue to be the team that you strive to be, and I probably said that all wrong, I'm not an English major, you got to play consistent. Yeah. You got to help each other. Defense, thank you.
Defense, phenomenal tonight. I mean, just an elite level of defense tonight.
Well, yeah, and, the offense, the first half was great. And then we get Dak Prescott, these sacks are just the sacks and the security in the pocket and all that. And, again, Nate and I are happy. I mean, trust me, I'm happy about the victory, but just it shouldn't be this hard. You had them on the ropes. You had them on the ropes, and fortunately you got a penalty there at the end, but just some stupid things happened along the way, and again, they were able to survive them.
All right, this is the First Word presented by Dr. Pepper. Let's check in with Taylor Stern, who is fielding all of the millions of tweets going on right now at AT&T. Tay.
Yeah, absolutely. Twitter is a storm right now with the celebration of the Cowboys win. But we see Jerry Jones talking to the media, and we'll hear from him shortly. But he walked by the media and grabbed Sean Lee's left arm and says, "And I left my ace in the hole at home." Very true, guys.
All right, I'm told right now we have Jerry Jones live. Let's go out to the stadium.
Obviously, that's one for the fans. This team won't be the same again. I'm serious. You win something like this against a team that well coached, those kind of players, caliber a team like that, and you've done it. Your mirror knows you've done it. You change. This is a changer in here. These guys they're different cats now as they go forward.
Jerry, you're the optimist, but you didn't envision this way quite, did you?
Well, I don't know. I'm not so sure I want it any closer than this way, for sure. But, boy, we had some things. The thing I'm impressed about is the way this team just didn't seem like those adverse situations, the calls, the turnovers, didn't seem like that stood in the way of just their determination to, frankly, out-physical these guys. And I think that's the story tonight.
How much of this seemed like kind of an old-fashioned playoff game almost, where the offense did just enough and the defense did everything?
Well, you guys called it. Everybody knew it. We need to keep the ball away from Brees. We need to keep the ball ourselves. We need to play this kind of game. I must tell you, the defense played beyond my expectations out there. Now, they played like a championship defense. And I was walking back in with Sean Lee. And he's a guy that has invested so much in helping those young linebackers. But he's on his way back, and he's going to be outstanding. So I really think that this bunch, it's a young team, maybe the youngest in the NFL. I really think this bunch is going to take this and be a different team over the next 4 ball games.
Jerry, you called this game a team Super Bowl in the regular season, a chance to kind of build points. Why did you think this one was so big and bigger than the others?
Because everyone, including our organization, had this team at the top. We know the Rams are certainly distinguished, but this team was at the top. I personally admire the coaching of the team. And so this game, when you win a game like this, now it took all we had, but when you win a game like this, it changes. You know you can do it. And this is a young, impressionable bunch. And so they know now that they can go out there and they can play our game and play it in a way to beat an offense machine. And you do it if you play your game and keep the ball and play defense. And I just am so proud for them, because they're not going to be the same kids that looked in the mirror this morning, tonight.
There was a time where Jordan Lewis had trouble getting on the field, and today he comes up with a big interception. Just what can you tell about his progression and how he played tonight as well?
Well, he's a playmaker. It's not by accident we've got him on those reverses on offense. He's a very talented, got the speed, really got instincts. And that's what he had there at Michigan State. And so, consequently, I mean Michigan, but consequently, we try to get him where he can make some plays. He had some times when he might have been wondering where it was, but he's the kind of guy that can make a play like that. Woozy's that way too. We've got some guys on defense that'll make a play for you.
All right, guys, defense made plays, and if you tuned in to the pregame show, this man on the end, Brian Broaddus, said you might see Jordan Lewis out there traveling with Kamara, doing some. Brian, what did you say? Then he came up with the big play at the end.
Well, we talked about it on the shows on Wednesday again, and we even talked about it on, just every time we get an opportunity to visit about what they might do. You have to play Alvin Kamara differently. You cannot allow him. Now, there were some times where Leighton Vander Esch and those guys were in some position. Jalen Smith with a heck of a hit. I know it's going to be called helmet to helmet, but it didn't get called that way. But great job by Jordan Lewis, though. You have to play him with somebody that's comfortable covering, and Jordan Lewis is very comfortable covering people.
Athlete on athlete.
Yep.
And what these guys did, more so than any team that I've seen, and I watched the film, and you can vouch for this, Brian. This team tackled.
Yeah,
especially
absolutely.
in the first half. This team tackled. They made plays. Mike Irvin, get out the way. Let them have their time, please.
No,
can you get out the way, Mike?
Mike's in the house.
Yeah.
Mike in the house.
Yeah, but this team matured in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Now, they had some adversity. They had some things that didn't go right. But hey, they continue to play through it. And my hat's off to Lewis, man, because this is a guy's projected to start.
Oh, that
at
good
the end
plan.
of last year.
Yeah.
And he's play through all of that to come back and make this play to shut the game down for the Dallas Cowboys.
It's great when you're a young guy and you're coming off the bench. I mean, he was a starter last year. Now all of a sudden he's having to play a dime role, and the dime package, something they don't do that often. But great job by Chris Richard, and then also with Rod Marinelli coming up with a plan. That's what you got to do, though. That's just a lot of years of me going out and watching teams play, and kind of seeing what's going on, getting ready for game plans and stuff. Though it was a nice guess.
All right, let's head back out to AT&T Stadium for some more updates from the field.
Thanks, Lindsay. And AT&T Stadium is rocking. It's still pretty full in here. The fans don't want to leave. Dak Prescott just got a congratulatory shove from Jason Garrett. Tremendous game, 13-10, a defensive struggle, just like we expected, right, Nick?
Yeah, exactly. Some fans do want to leave. They had a lot of Saints fans here, obviously, so it made this atmosphere so great tonight. But unbelievable. I mean, I did not think the Cowboys could win a game like this. Their defense was off the charts. Their defense was amazing from start to finish. The only real drive the Saints had was aided by the Cowboys, really. They are now one of the best defenses in the NFL. They proved it in this game. And they were so close to getting turnovers all game long. Jordan Lewis, he dropped one, or sort of dropped one earlier, and he comes up with a huge, huge play.
A young guy who hasn't played a lot coming up clutch. Offensively, it was a good start for the Cowboys. Second half, it was a struggle until that final drive. Dak making some big plays late.
Dak, I mean, what can you say? He had, numbers looked really good, had a big run there, misses Gallup on a touchdown. I mean, that's just kind of what Dak gives you, but had some really big plays in there. It was just a grinder, was a fighter. And, I mean, what stood out to you as far as in that second half? You just feel like the wheels were coming off, but they never did.
No, the plays by the defense at the end. Again, Jordan Lewis, a guy who really hasn't seen the field, making a big play. That's poise, that's coaching, that's putting guys in the right position. And they did a nice job on Alvin Kamara tonight. He was basically a non-factor in the game.
you know, without a doubt. And he's the guy that scares you all the time. And they're flying around. Leighton Vander Esch, I mean, get him in the Pro Bowl. Are you serious? But DeMarcus Lawrence, I mean, we kind of laughed. I laughed it off. But what did they do? They hit him in the mouth, and then they choked him out. I mean, that's what they did. That's exactly the recipe to win, and that's what happened. Amazing.
This is an elite defense, and this is a Cowboys team on a 4-game winning streak, Nick. Big win tonight against the now 10-2 Saints. Back to the crew.
Thank you guys so much. Let's check in over with Taylor Stern. More reaction from the stadium. What is going on?
Well, everyone's giving love to the defense, and rightfully so, especially their own teammates. Justin March Lillard shared the tweet, at the Jalen Smith and Vander Esch 38 are lethal. That's true. Tonight, you know, Nate brought up tackling. Vander Esch was doing it better than anyone, but Jalen Smith was right behind him. What did you guys think of their play tonight?
10 tackles on Vander Esch is a great statistician here told me. Right behind him was Jalen Smith.
9.
I mean, that's awesome. And I tell people, if somebody would have told you this 6 or 7 weeks ago that this guy was going to do all of this right here, would you have took him in the first round?
Well, of course you would have. We're all saying that now.
Sean Lee comes back next week.
And he'll be back. He'll
get another tackler on the field.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, Jason Garrett on a 4-game win streak. Let's go out to the stadium and hear his reactions from tonight.
How we doing, guys?
Doing great. Big win, tremendous defense tonight.
Yeah, obviously a really good offensive football team that we played, and I just thought we did a really good job throughout the ball game, just slowing them down. We defended the run really well. They're at their best when they're balanced. I thought we did a good job getting around the quarterback, and I thought we did a good job just contesting the plays down the field. They got a couple of them, but I thought our guys covered really well and just made it hard on them throughout the game. Obviously, third downs are big, getting off the field consistently throughout.
How important were the linebackers in the game plan to contain Ingram and Kamara?
Well, obviously everybody's important. The game was going to start up front on both sides of the ball. We had to win the physical battle in the trenches. I thought we did that. Our linebackers are very active, and they have to be against those guys. I mean, both those runners are just outstanding runners and really good receivers. They're a big part of what they try to do in the passing game. So they had to be able to guard them, and they had to be aware of where they were in zone and do a good job tackling them in space and then just covering them in man-to-man. I thought we did a good job of that throughout.
Did you get a feeling in practice this week that the result might be like this based on what you saw of the team in practice?
Yeah, our team works really hard. They come to work every day, and they get locked in on what we need to do each day in our preparation leading up to these ball games. We just try to take it one day at a time, one step at a time, try to practice well, stack good days on top of each other, and let that preparation show up in the game. I thought it did throughout our team tonight.
What was your reaction to Jordan Lewis's interception? Big time play when you guys had to have it.
Yeah, just a huge play. And, you know, Jordan's been a guy who's made a lot of plays on the ball for us. He was going to have a big role in this game tonight. We played some dime in the game because of all the skill that they have on offense, and he did a good job covering. And obviously that's the biggest play in the game. To be able to take the ball away on that last drive and end the game there was huge. And he just has a knack for it. He's always around the ball. He's got really good hands, a really good feel, and that was a huge play in the game for us.
Jason, you said your team had worked hard all week long, and knowing the game plan you had and the emotions that the guys had coming in here, could you envision holding that offense 10 points?
Yeah, again, our defense did an excellent job, and you know, we have great respect for their offense, the skill that they have, you know, just what they're capable of doing. And the biggest thing we try to do is focus on ourselves and play the way we're capable of playing. Play sound fundamental defense, play fast, play physical, win the line of scrimmage, be a great tackling team, contest throws, all the things we try to emphasize day in and day out had to show up in this ball game for 60 minutes. And one of the big keys to this game was handle the success of the game and keep playing, handle the adversity of the game and keep playing. It was going to be a 60-minute game. You know, we got out in front of this thing. We did a good job stopping them defensively. We did a good job possessing the football offensively. We got ahead, but we knew they'd keep coming, and we had to keep coming. And we made some critical stops at the end of the ball game. Everybody had a piece of it.
Well, after the 3 wins in 11 days now, how big is this to have 10 days to kind of let some nicks and get everybody rested up here?
Yeah, you know, when you play Thursday, this Thanksgiving schedule we've been on the last few years, this is kind of the second bye week after Thanksgiving. And our guys did a really good job preparing over this last month or so, knowing that we had a lot of football in a short period of time. They were very professional and taking care of their bodies, getting their mind and spirit right to practice the right way and play the right way. Now we do get a chance to heal up a little bit for the next 3 days. We'll get back to work on Monday and get ready for the next challenge.
Final stats from the evening. Time of possession battle, baby. That was my key to the Cowboys getting the win. Okay, sorry, I'm done now. You guys.
No, you should pat yourself on the back. Let me tell you what.
Time of possession was right on Ms. Lens. I thought that if we could get their defense tired, we can expose them a little bit. But they played tough the whole game. Wow. And the third down conversions, 50%. It's just so many positive things that they can take and work towards going into next week. Brian, I'm excited about this Cowboy team.
Yeah, you should be.
Excited about that defense.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
The defense has held them in this all year long. The only time they really had a hiccup was the Tennessee game, and that really was on third down. But if you look at what the Saints were, the Saints were really awful for them on third down. Saints only ran 49 plays. Saints usually run that in the first series of a game when you watch them play on tape. So good job of the Cowboys doing exactly what we talked about, being smart and playing assignment football. Defensively, they were able to do just that.
Taylor Stern pulling some facts only for us right now.
Facts only for Dak Prescott. Yes, he is in elite company right now. Most wins in the past 3 seasons. Tom Brady, Dak Prescott, Ben Roethlisberger, and Drew Brees. Yeah, Dak sits there at 29, just on fire, as you can see. So, yeah, he did some things tonight, not only ending this win streak for the Saints, but really pushing the Cowboys' momentum in the right direction.
Let me ask you guys something, though, because I know there's still a recurring problem of taking those sacks. Is that more protection, or is that more maybe Dak holding the ball? It's on the quarterback? Tell me about this, you guys.
He's not wrong. He is not wrong. And not saying just because he's a former offensive lineman, but you see things happen.
7 times tonight.
Yeah.
I know, if I know Broadus, he talked about situation football. Yeah. And everybody has their assignment. When it's 3rd and 5, and you drop back and you're in the red zone, you cannot take a sack. And more importantly, you cannot turn the ball loose. You have to have that thing up to your chest with 2 hands. So at the slightest touch, wind, breeze, you can bring it to you in cup. That's taught. Troy talked about it all night. Now, the sacks, I got to block better. They got to block better. But you cannot take sacks in certain situations, and more importantly, you cannot let the ball hit the ground. That hurts your team. You touch the ball 100% of the time in this offense.
You agree?
Well said. No, I mean, he's absolutely right. You know, they get in situations, though, where they're down there and they're trying to run out the clock. They're doing a great job driving the ball. Then all of a sudden you take a sack and you give a fumble and you give them life. You know, and now the defense has to come back out on the field. That's tough right there. You know, you're trying to kill the game, and it just, you can't afford like that. And there's I promise you, there are guys, I'll watch this tape tonight, there'll be guys open, and tomorrow I'll write about it, and you'll see, and I'll say, hey, he was open. He's got to get rid of that football.
All right, guys, we talked about this on the pregame show as well. The Cowboys locker room never gives out bulletin board material. Yeah. Well, DeMarcus Lawrence was writing a bunch of checks that he cashed. Let's check in with the locker room after the win tonight. I heard it's pretty loud out there.
What was said was out of content, but it is what it is, and the battle is won. So we got to move on to the next one.
You feel like you did what you needed to? What made you so confident going into this group? I mean, nobody had slowed them down like you guys did tonight going into this game.
Okay, but nobody ain't us. I got confidence in my guys. I got confidence in myself, and that's all we need.
So you believe that they had not faced a team this good on defense? It was the main thing.
No.
DeMarcus, how much of what you said earlier this week was you trying to lead this group into a situation?
How much was I said earlier this week was twisted by you guys and tried to make it into something it wasn't? I mean, it's football, you know. If you capitalize on a team early, you got to step on their throats, like I said, and don't let them back up. And which we did today, and we held them to 10 points. So I'm excited for all my guys. You know, I'm glad that we had this battle to see what a real championship team looks like, and we got to move forward and go on to the next one.
You call this the best defensive performance all year long?
it's too close to. It's really, I can't predict the future. I don't know what's next to come. So I'm not going to call it the best yet. I really don't think that was our final form. We still got to get better.
But would you say you're on an uptick, though, that you're getting better and better?
Oh, absolutely. The offense is clicking, and defense is playing hell of a defense right now, so we just got to keep everything going.
Marcus, what did the defense prove tonight in these 6 interceptions in the last, 4 games? Y'all are getting the turnovers. How is it working?
That we got decent hands. I mean, we still need more. And the game ain't going to change. The most teams with, the most turnovers, the most first downs, the most touchdowns, it's still the same formulas every week. So, once we stay on our formula and keep doing what we're doing, we'll be okay.
What'd you do
about that 4th and goal from the 1, that goal line stance? What happened there?
We won. That's it. In that situation, goal line, that's where it's all about bully ball. You know what I'm saying? The big dogs come in and, you fight for that 1 inch, and we won that 1 inch.
What was this a statement win for you guys, just for the rest of the year?
That's why I say the battle is won, but the war just begins. The rest of the league seeing how we're playing football together, and they're gonna want a piece of it. So we really just got to stay focused on our game plans, and just keep going to work every week.
Do you feel like you're the leader?
DeMarcus Lawrence bringing the heat.
Bully ball, straight up, man. You notice when the young lady asked the question, how you trying to throw that old sly smile at her, man? Oh, man. I'm loving D-Law, hot boy #1.
Hey, beginning of the game, though, we kind of did overlook that goal line stand.
Goal line stand, absolutely. Sean Payton probably, we talked about this game. Did you have to play? People were all week long were saying, well, Jason Garrett's got to do things unconventionally. He's got to go for it. He's got to be gambling. He's all that. You can't out-crazy a crazy guy. And in that case, Sean Payton was a crazy guy. Should have taken the points. Has a lot of faith in his defense his offense when you're 10-1 though. But great job by Chris Richard, Rod Marinite. They played square football, the human log, Antoine Woods.
Sir.
That's Nate's guy all the way. And those guys all stayed square up front. They played on the other side of the line of scrimmage. They played on the Saints' offensive side of the ball really the entire night. That's a really, really good offensive line that they took advantage of tonight.
Led by center Max Unger. They got rid of Jimmy Graham and brought this cat in here to solidify that middle, man. And he's been doing a super job, but the log gave him all he can handle. Yeah.
All right, checking in with Taylor again. You got a little nug for us?
Well, the Saints probably don't want to play on November 29th anymore because it's not a good day for them. Yeah, in 2015, this great stat from Dane Brugler, Saints held to 10 points or less for first time since November 29th, 2015, which was a 24-6 loss to the Texans. The development of the Dallas defense has been impressive this season. Dane knows his stuff. He looked at Leighton Vander Esch all offseason, knew what the Cowboys were getting into with this Wolf Hunter.
Let's look at the upcoming, just as we're wrapping up here, look at the sketch. You got something?
Yeah, Dane, you need to be looking at some guys. We don't have a first-round pick in this draft. Time to watch this game.
No first-rounder? Yeah, let's watch the game.
You need to start looking at some second-round cats.
All right, guys, let's talk about the schedule coming up for the Cowboys. You have the Eagles at home. Feeling pretty good about that one at this point, right? With the Eagles kind of down.
No, you need to keep going. To me,
for sure, but the Eagles aren't what they were.
Well, they've got a tough game in Washington. That might be an elimination game right there.
That's Monday night, right?
Monday night, yeah. To me, you're talking to the old guy. Old guy says every game's must win, so I'm going to kind of cheat.
No, I'm with you. I just don't think that's going to be as tough as tonight was.
I think when you start playing at a certain level, it's easy to go back to that level. They've played at a certain level for over 3 weeks now, topping it off today. They just got to remember that feeling, commit it to muscle memory, and play at that level all the time. Clean up some of the bad plays and bad penalties and just play at that high level. Keep that enthusiasm. That's what they're playing. They're having fun now. You can see it on their face.
Is it hard to maintain that when you have now a 10-day break, or is this an absolute, you need a break right now?
You know what, I think the break's good because of the number of games they played, but I'm liking the way this is kind of setting up because you've seen teams been able to run away with the division and then have to, at the end, think about resting guys and all that stuff. I want this team just to keep foot on the gas all the way through the end of the season. Get this thing, if you can, into the playoffs. And that way you're a battle-tested team. You fought this was a 3-5 team one time. Now there's Now they're 7-5. So
they're going to
got
be trying to get back.
Yeah.
They don't care. Look, you see Dallas Cowboys 7-5. You know, a lot of people, you know, saying, hey, by the end of the week, by the end next Monday, everybody will be 6-6. You know, 5-6 or whatever. You know, I always believe this right here. It's a way to win. It's a way to play. Play hard, play smart, and it'll work itself out in the end.
Washington's only one game back. You know, you look at that right there. But the team with the toughest road looks like to be Philadelphia. Still have Houston left. Still have the Rams left. So, you know, those teams are now fighting for their lives, like Dallas was when they were 3-5.
And understand me, Houston trying to jump, trying to get in Kansas City back pocket, and the Rams automatically done jumped in they pat them like, hey, thank you, Cowboys, because now y'all put us back first. So they're going to be fighting for their lives to keep that, because they want that thing to happen in Southern California. They don't want it to happen up in that dome. Believe that.
Nobody does.
All right, guys. It was a crazy ride tonight. 13-10, your final from AT&T Stadium. Enjoy the weekend. For Tay, Brian, Nate, I'm Lindsay Draper. We will see you guys next time the Cowboys play.
Who that trying to come up in here? Yeah.
Crazy.